Here's a big news straight out of Caribbean. US military has striked in the Caribbean. 11 are dead and Cuba is on the edge. You're watching TimesXP. It's me, Dhritiyatri, and the night sky over the Caribbean Sea lit up like never before. Explosion, smoke, fire, and chaos on the waters. The US military has launched a ferocious airstrike targeting 3 suspected narco-trafficking boats in the international waters, and the result 11 dead and the world holding its breath. Well, this is not just about drugs. It is show of force, show of power. According to the Southern Command, these boats, they weren't any ordinary vessels. They were allegedly linked to criminal syndicates with ties to terror networks. And the US says that it will not tolerate those operations that are threatening the Caribbean and Latin America. In fact, videos released show precision strike. Jets swooping in, missiles hitting the targets, boats engulfed in smoke. Well, the water turned into a war zone miles away from the US shores, and in the meantime, President Trump calls it an armed conflict. Yes, Trump himself is watching this closely. He has called the campaign an armed conflict, not just a law enforcement operation. Now, this signals a huge shift from policing criminals to military action on this high seas here. Officials say that this is part of a larger strategy to cut off the financial lifelines of these transnational crime networks. This is war at sea, and the US wants to make it very clear that they are serious about it. In fact, the whole region is heating up. The timing of the strike is very important. Cuba is already under extreme US pressure. Trump's administration has warned Havana to stop supporting destabilizing network. Venezuela, one of Cuba's main oil suppliers, stopped selling crude oil after a daring US raid earlier this particular year that captured Mr. Maduro. Oil routes, shipping lanes, and migration corridors in the Caribbean, they are now a strategic flashpoint. Well, this isn't just a fight against drug anymore. It is a full-blown military chessboard. In fact, the global eyes has turned to the Caribbean now. World leaders and analysts are watching closely. Some applaud the decisive action to dismantle the dangerous network. But in the meantime, others warn of dangerous escalation. The line between anti-drug action and military warfare is now blurred. So here's the key question that remains: that could innocent sailors be caught in the crossfire? Will Cuba or its allies retaliate? And could this spark broader conflict in the region? And you know what this means? Well, the US is sending a loud and clear message that geography won't limit military power here. Transnational threats at sea, they are now national issue. Every single strike, every single operation, every missile that is fired is being watched by the entire world. In fact, in the coming days, the Caribbean may see a heightened US patrol. In fact, diplomatic channels will be tested every single day. Global markets and trade routes could feel the ripple effects. One wrong move, one miscalculation, and the fragile balance could tip into a much larger conflict.